Today on Ultima Gaming, we go for the goal in Mario Strikers Battle League. Then, we finally learn the joys of being a cat in Stray. And finally, a classic JRPG comes to the West for the first time ever in Live Alive. What a confusing name. It's game time. Here's your host, a man on the brink of insanity, Hunter Jin.
But you can't lose what you never had. Either way, it's good to be back. Greetings and welcome to Ultima Gaming. The topics for today, soccer, cats, and old but new JRPGs, if that makes sense. On today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at Mario Strikers Battle League, the first Mario soccer game we've had since the previous one, Strikers Charged, on the Wii. And I have to say, we're going into this one a little cautiously, as Nintendo sports titles in the past year have been a little lackluster, to say the least, looking at the golf and tennis titles specifically. But hey, we'll see how the new one fares, especially with the new DLC free update that just dropped. And then later on the show, we're also going to be taking a look at Stray. That's right, cat lovers everywhere rejoice. You can finally play as a cat. We have truly achieved gaming's greatest right here. We've peaked at the mountaintop. Stray has been a long time coming, and a lot of people have been looking forward to it. Small indie game, but something on the PS4 and PS5 owners can enjoy if you have the mid-tier level PlayStation Plus. Otherwise, you know, hey, $40 will set you back. But hey, what's $40 compared to scratching up rugs and knocking things over off of shelves and everywhere in between. But first, before we get to the soccer and the cats, we're going to be taking a look at Live Alive, or Live Alive, or Live Alive, Live Alive, Live. Pretty sure it's Live Alive is what they pronounce it on the Nintendo Direct. This is actually an old Super Famicom game that was never made over to the West. So think classic JRPG, but something that we here in the States are getting to experience officially in English for the first time ever on the Nintendo Switch. It's a really cool game. The question is, was it worth a 25+ year wait? Here's our review. Why play through a single linear story within a JRPG when you can experience multiple plots and follow multiple characters across time and space? That's the gift that keeps on giving in Square's original title, Live Alive, originally released on the Super Famicom in Japan only in 1994. Almost 30 years later, the game has officially been brought to the West for the first time ever on the Nintendo Switch. But does this remake justify the 28-year gap? Or is this simply a port with a fresh coat of paint? Let's answer that question right out of the gate. Live Alive for Nintendo Switch is more than a shiny port of the elusive Super Famicom title. Using the lovely HD 2D remake engine that we've grown to love with other titles like Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy, Live Alive is an incredible looking journey that breathes new life into a retro title. But more than just providing a fresh breath of air aesthetically, Live Alive offers a refreshing take on the JRPG genre, trading a single storyline for multiple, spanning different time periods, and featuring different main characters. The game is broken up into 7 unique sections. These sections can range from a caveman far in the past to a robot in space far in the future, and everything everywhere in between. Once the 7 characters have been completed, an 8th chapter unlocks with an additional character and plot, combining and weaving the 7 characters together in a final story. In addition, each unique character offers a unique playstyle, with some feeling more traditional, and others giving you the ability to approach with a stealth-based style. The combat in Live Alive plays slightly differently than your typical square turn-based RPG. Players encounter enemies randomly, but combat takes place on a grid, with moves working off an AoE and enemy gauges filling up as you navigate around the grid.
Not every single chapter works off of this combat system, but it's the primary form. However, that doesn't mean you'll be stuck having to do it forever. Live Alive also breaks down the linearity even further, allowing players to freely pick and choose their character and chapter they wish to explore, and you can pause at any time to start or resume a different storyline, thanks to a generous number of save slots available. Being a remake of a 90s JRPG also means an incredible 90s JRPG soundtrack, thanks to legendary composer Yoko Shimomura. In addition to an incredible soundtrack, this new version of Live Alive also features full voice acting, something not present in the original game. Overall, Live Alive for Nintendo Switch does an incredible job of preserving the classic feel of the original Super Famicom version, while offering a refreshing twist compared to the stale traditions of JRPGs. The game offers something that most RPGs haven't, and offers it all in a beautiful looking package. The Nintendo Switch is the perfect system for a title like this, and it's easy to see why. Western JRPG fans eager to finally get their hands on the game now have what is likely the definitive version and best way to possibly play. Live Alive gets a 5 out of 5.
You know, personally, I really love the direction they're going with some of these old school JRPG remakes with the new 2D engine, like what you see in Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. I really, really love that art style. I'm glad to see it here in Live Alive, but our art style aside, it's a fun, cool, classic JRPG, and it's a cool thing to experience for the first time if you never have. But moving on, we've now got some sports to talk about. Anyone who knows me knows I love sports, competitive eating, napping, that's about it for me. But if you throw a little Mario in there, then suddenly I'm a little more interested. And that's exactly what we get with Mario Strikers Battle League. The newest installment to the Mario Strikers franchise has come to the Nintendo Switch. But this one's a little interesting because on initial launch, there was something very important that was missing. There was a reason why I didn't get it. But now, thanks to a free update, it's here. What is that free thing? Take a look at our review.
While it's true that Nintendo hasn't done themselves any favors lately with recent Mario sports titles, the return of the Mario Strikers series could hopefully turn that stigma around. Last seen on the Wii in 2007 with Mario Strikers Charged, this soccer-inspired series has remained dormant for over a decade. We're happy to report that the series is back in full force, and has the most charm and personality we've seen in a Mario sports title for quite some time.
Yahoo for me! Yahoo! Oh yeah!
The main gameplay for Battle League remains largely unchanged from previous entries, with 2 teams of 4 going head-to-head as they try to earn the most goals in an allotted time. With an initial starting roster of only 10 characters, more on that in a bit, the list can feel a bit underwhelming, with some specific fan favorites missing altogether. Thankfully, each character still feels unique, thanks to character-specific stats and abilities. Each team captain has the ability to perform a specific Hyper Strike, essentially your ultimate move, almost guaranteeing points for your team. The catch is having the right timing to pull it off, as you have to pick up orbs around the field at the right time and then take a few seconds to charge up your strike, leaving you open to attacks from others. Battle League also features newly equipable gear for your team, altering stats and letting you customize your character to fit your specific playstyle. While these are a nice addition, they still feel lacking in number, and the actual effects of the gear feel minimal at best, but it's still a welcome addition either way. Items also make a return, giving the game that slightly more Mario feel compared to a traditional soccer game, such as tripping opponents with bananas or knocking them right off their feet with a good-sized Koopa shell. And there's always tackling your enemy into the nearby electric barrier at the edge of the arena to give them a good shock. One of the most satisfying things of Battle League are the victory animations for each character. The GameCube era specifically was known for adding tons of personality into each character across various sports titles, and has been criticized in recent years for a lack of this fun and playfulness. Strikers Battle League goes all in on this charm, with each character getting full, unique animations that show off their personality like never before. While Strikers Battle League lacks a story mode it does offer tournament-style matches against AI, but the game really shines in the multiplayer aspect. Obviously, a game like this can easily be enjoyed with friends, but Strikers Battle League has also opted to go all in on the online competitive scene, creating clubs that you and your friends can join to form a sort of team that competes against others online. This type of competitive online play is something we hope to see Nintendo explore more in the future with more titles. One thing we hope to also see more of in the future support is free DLC. Upon release, Strikers Battle League was missing fan-favorite character Daisy, who was previously on the roster for both Strikers games on the GameCube and Wii. While this was a massive disappointment for many, Daisy eventually was added into the game, alongside Shy Guy, as a free DLC update. This opens the door to a bigger discussion. Should the games be delayed until all content is ready? Or should we just be happy we're getting free extras at all? But we'll save that topic for a later day. Overall, Mario Strikers Battle League offers a fun return to the Strikers series that remains largely unchanged, for better or worse, from previous entries. That doesn't change the fact that the game is fun, full of charm, and offers an incentive for online competitive play. But we hope to see more features or content from the game in the future. We give Mario Strikers Battle League 4 goals out of 5.
Best Girl's back. Shy Guy's back too, which, hey, he's kind of best boy really when you think about it. So that was a really cool update. Again, would have been nice to see that content up front in the initial release. Don't know why Nintendo and really everyone at this point, right? They're shoving out games before they're fully finished, and then they just kind of sprinkle in new stuff here and there. Really would love to see a few additions to the roster, but really would ultimately love to see games like this coming out day one with that content already in there. But aside from that, Mario Strikers Battle League still a fun game. Definitely one you should check out if you're a fan of the Mario sports games. So finally, we have reached the climax. The thing you're all wanting and dying to know, is it worth it to play as a cat? Well, let's face it, you already know the answer. We've wanted to do it for years. And finally, thanks to Stray, we get to do just that. Here's our review of Stray.
Ah, the life of a cat. Lounging around all day, basking in the warm sunlight, knocking over plants and bottles and everything else that gets in your way. Surely it doesn't get much easier than that. At least, for most cats. But in Stray, life isn't so simple. Sure, the game features a dedicated meow button, which was only pushed 1,000 times during the recording of this review, and yes, the game does let us scratch up some rugs as much as we'd like, but the life of this stray feline is anything but easy. Stray lets us finally fulfill our lifelong dream of finding out the answer of what it's like to be a cat. Not a character like a cat, not an alien who takes on the appearance of a cat, just a cat. And we don't say that with disappointment either. We're glad to finally experience the joys of hairballs, fears of water, and perplexing everyone around us with our behavior. Pair that with the incredible atmosphere of a cyberpunk-type world where your only companion is a robot and your only source of interactions are with other robots. And you've got Stray. Part platformer, part puzzle, all cat. Our journey begins with several other cats, all hanging out in a peaceful jungle-like environment, traveling through the land as you jump, climb, and nap. This area serves as a tutorial, and also serves to set the stage for the plot, as you fall off a pipe, getting separated from your feline family, and land in a mysterious, grim-looking world. As you traverse this almost post-apocalyptic underground space, you'll encounter a variety of robot denizens, many of whom seem to be struggling to survive. One of these small denizens, known as B12, becomes your companion, an AI buddy who resides in the backpack you put on. Wait a minute. Is this the next Banjo-Kazooie? No, B12 doesn't help you traverse the land, but it does assist you with communicating with other robots, solving puzzles, and making sense of the world around you as you make your journey back to the surface. Along the way, you'll encounter Zerks, strange blob creatures ready to tear you apart at any moment. They serve as the game's primary enemy and give the game a sense of urgency as you outrun and outsmart these creatures. Speaking of outrunning and outsmarting, Stray offers a variety of platforming challenges that truly shed light on the joys of being a cat, squeezing through tight areas a human could only dream of, and interacting with your environment, be it tearing down curtains, knocking over pots, or even reaching new heights with air vents, all incredibly satisfying and truly gives you a better understanding of why cats are the assholes that they are. Stray is a true delight and a unique experience, a creative endeavor that the gaming industry truly needs. It's almost frustrating it's taken us this long to enjoy the ability to play as a cat, but we can gladly say it was more than worth the wait. Stray is free for Tier 2 PlayStation Plus members and can be purchased separately for $40, which you should absolutely do to show your support. Stray gets a 5 out of 5.
And just like that, we get to play as a cat. Dedicated meow button is something I want in every game going forward, okay? Quick shout outs to Jason Frankovich. You heard his voice at the beginning of this episode, and if you went, that sounds a little familiar, that's because Jason is the original disembodied voice announcer that you would hear on the original run of X-Play back in like 2002. I believe he did it from 2002, probably to 2004, 2005, somewhere right through there. So I want to give a quick shout out to Jason. Thank you for humoring me, and it was an honor to be able to have you play that small but really cool role that I think some fans of the show are definitely going to appreciate. Hey, we're back. I know we do like the whole annual video now or so, but in the meantime, I also do some vlogs. I'm also going to be bringing back the Everything You Want, Nothing You Need podcast. I know some of you have been asking where that's at. It is coming back. I have a new episode recording of that very shortly, which I will be glad to share with you as soon as it's out. But in the meantime, as always, please leave a like, leave a comment. I love feedback. I want to know how I can improve. I also want to know what you think of the reviews and just the videos in general. And of course, if you're watching this for the first time, subscribe. I'm going to be the YouTube guy and say it. Hit the button, do the thing. You know the drill by now. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching Ultima Gaming, and we'll see you next time.